Hey YouTube, this is Yaoi Ninja 0717 here to review Junjou Romantica Season 3. Now, for those of you who don't know, Junjou Romantica, also known as Pure Romance, has a first and second season, which I'll review later on, sometime today or tomorrow. But anyway, we are back with Season 3. It was produced by Studio Dean. Studio Dean's the one who made Seasons 1 and 2. And the first episode came out yesterday, and I have to say, I thoroughly enjoyed the first episode. The art style, for those of you who do know Junjou Romantica, Season 3 art style is way different from the first two seasons. It's not heavy on the lines. It's a lot more smooth around the edges, lighter in tone. At first, when I first watched it, I was like, something's not right here. And I had thought they had switched studios. But maybe it was just, I can't remember when Junjou Romantica Seasons 1 and 2 ended, but maybe with time, new artists come in and a different style happens. But anyway, Season 1 and 2 definitely felt more like the manga. And this season, the art style feels like I'm actually watching an anime compared to watching a manga. I know that doesn't make any sense, but it's just, to me, that's what it felt like. Okay, so what happened in the first episode? Okay, so Misaki, our two main characters, Misaki and Usagi, or by his real name Usami, but I'll call him Usagi for the rest of the day. Misaki has passed year 4, and so now he has only one more year before he'll graduate from college, and he was so excited. And so he goes upstairs, tells Usagi that, hey, I passed. I'm actually doing something with college. I'm not a bum. And he gets in there, and Usagi had just finished one of those long nighters, and if you guys watch the series, you know Usagi does not like to be woken up. And Misaki's like, I just cleaned this place. What's wrong? And Misaki goes on this tirade, and Usagi just looks at him like, you just did not wake me up. And when Misaki sees that look from Usagi, he's like, oh shit, I messed up. So before Usagi even gets into Misaki's pants, his brother Takahiro comes and visits. Takahiro, if you guys remember, is Misaki's older brother. He got married in season 1. Season 2, he had the kid, and so him and his wife and his kid come over. And so they're talking, and there's this really cute scene where Takahiro's little son goes over to Usagi because he wants to hug him, and Usagi gives him this death glare like, and the kid starts crying, and Misaki has to go and get him. And he's like, there. And so, they're sitting around chatting, and Takahiro's like, yeah, so you're up to your 4th year now, so I guess by next year you'll be moving out. And Misaki and Usagi just look at him like, that wasn't the plan. And Usagi's like, Takahiro, Misaki lives here rent-free because he does the household chores for me. You know me, I'm not basically the cleanest person. And Takahiro's like, I understand that, but after he finishes college and gets a full-time job, he'll be considered an adult. And in Japan, I guess once you, just like in the U.S., in Japan, once you get your first full-time paying job, you are an adult, which means you have to take care of yourself. And Takahiro doesn't want Misaki to rely on Usami anymore. And excuse me. I don't do too many YouTube videos, so this is like my second one. And so Misaki goes on this internal monologue. It's like, yeah, once I finish school, I'll be an adult. But he doesn't really want to leave, because him and Usagi, no matter how many times he doesn't want to admit it, him and Usagi are lovers. You know what I'm saying? For those who don't know who are watching this is boys love. Boys love. Yaoi means boys love. And if you haven't really figured that out yet, you need to click off this channel. But anyway, I digress. So the next day happens, and Misaki's still thinking about what Takahiro said, and Usagi's basically telling him, like, don't worry about this. Like, the only person you need to rely on is me. Just constantly think about me. And Usagi and Misaki's like, I know I'm fixing my hair, y'all. I know it's silly. And Misaki's like, you know what? Whatever. Like I'll figure this out on my own. Like, so don't worry about it. So he goes to school because it's the graduation ceremony, and his only friend in college is graduating. And if you guys remember from season 2 who this guy is, I'll talk about this in another video. But anyway, his friend graduates, and so they take pictures, they say goodbye, and so, peace out. He's leaving. And Misaki's still thinking about what Takahiro said, and he pulls out his cell phone, and he realizes that he has lost his phone strap. Now, for a bunch of you guys who are a bunch of young bloods, back in the day, if you had a flip phone, I don't know, Google that shit. A flip phone. It had a hole in it where you can put in a cute little phone strap. I had one, and my friend had actually made me a phone strap, and then it was an ice cream swirl, and I put it in my phone. But anyway, Google that shit. And so he loses it, and in the manga it's called, from the English translations I've got, it's called Con Man, but he calls it Da Man, which is this phone strap is important to him because he basically sent in 35 freaking postcards just to get a limited edition phone strap. And if you guys ever been to Japan, when they do limited edition shit, it is important. People send in postcards, stand out in line. If you ever stood out in line if y'all know when the newest iPhone comes out and people stand out in line, or like 1 or 2 days, 2 to 3 days before this phone actually drops, it's the exact same thing. Think of it like that. Like a new iPhone just dropped, and you want to be the first one to get it, so you sleep outside for 3 days before the damn store even opens. Think of it just like that. Anyway, moving on. He's looking all over campus because he loves his manga. He loves it. Da Man is basically his favorite. He eats, sleeps, and breathes this manga. So this guy picks it up, and comes to find out, this guy knew what it was. He was like, oh, this is a limited edition Da Man that you could only get through sending a bunch of postcards. And Misaki's looking at him like, oh, this guy loves Da Man too. And so he tells him hey, that's mine, I dropped it. And he's like, oh, here you are. And he asks him a bunch of questions so how many postcards did you send in to get this strap? And he's like, 35. Send in 35. He's like, dang, I sent in 5 less than you. And so he's never met another person who's obsessed with this manga like he is. So he walks away, and in the manga it's a lot more funnier than when the anime did it, because they didn't actually talk for very long. It's just that he gave him the phone strap and then they just walked away. But in the manga they talked and then they walked away, and Misaki has having another internal monologue I've never met anybody who likes Da Man just like me. And he's like, maybe me and him can be friends. And so he looks over his shoulder, and the other guy's looking over his shoulder too. And then it's basically they both know you and me, we need to be friends. So they become friends. I totally forget the guy's name. I'll remember in another video. I have to go back and look at it. But anyway, he goes home and he finds this letter that he won. He gets to meet the creator of the con because he won a special contest or whatever. He gets tickets to meet this guy, to meet the creator of Da Man. And so he's super hyped on that. And so Usagi's like, this is all the way out in Hokkaido. You can't afford that. He's like, don't worry about it. I'll just earn I'll do some extra part-time jobs and stuff like that to save it up. He's like, I'm not gonna miss this for the world. And so Usagi's looking at it well, I'll just go with you. I'll pay for it. We can be a little honeymoon. And so Misaki's like, no, because if you go with me, it's gonna be ulterior motives, and I want to go see my favorite creator. I don't want to go fool around. And so then they get this knock at the door, and I'm reading off notes, you guys. And so this guy busts in, and his name is Mizuki. Mizuki comes in and he's like, Usagi. No, he's like Akito. It's been so long. That's Usami's real name. First name is Akito. So he's like, Akito. I haven't seen you forever. You just busted into my fucking house. Okay, so in Junjou Romantica, he's apparently they don't lock the front door in Japan or whatever because lots of people just bust up into his house. But I digress. So Mizuki comes in. He's like, "Hey, I'm on vacation. Let me crash here at your house. You know, like some uninvited guest you give. Like, you didn't phone call me. You didn't send me a letter. You didn't text. Like, what the fuck, right?" And so Usagi's like, "Dude, go to your parents' house." Like, you know what I'm saying? And he's all over Usagi, and Misaki doesn't really like it. He's like, okay. And Usagi introduces him. He's like, "This is my cousin Mizuki." And Mizuki and Misaki shake hands, and Mizuki's hand grip is really tight on Misaki. He looks at him like, "You're not worthy enough to be with my cousin." You know what I'm saying? And Misaki's like, "What the fuck?" And so he basically whispers to him. He's like, "I'm in love with Akito." And Misaki's like, what? Like, basically, like, who the fuck are you to step onto my boyfriend like this? And so, anyway, Usagi's still telling this dude, like, get out, get out, get out, get out, get out. I do not have time to deal with you. Like, I have books to write, you know what I'm saying? I have to fool around with Misaki. These are my two top priorities. And so, Mizuki's like, "Hey, man, like, I got a present for you." He's like, "You can't," and Usagi's like, "You can't bribe me with bears." And in case you guys don't know, for those of you who are just watching Junjou Romantica, Usagi really loves teddy bears. Like, he has a whole house full of teddy bears, and they're called Suzuki. So, but it's not a teddy bear. It's a book. It's a rare first edition book that he picked up in Germany. And so Misaki's looking at this like, Usagi, you don't normally smile like this to other people except to me, and like you're not this gracious. And so why are you being so nice to him? Like, what the fuck? And like he's basically Misaki is becoming jealous. He is becoming straight up jealous of Mizuki because he's never seen Usagi be like this other than to himself. And so what is it? It's nighttime during this part. I'm reading off a notebook, you guys. It's nighttime at this point, and Misaki's still basically feeling the jealous. He's feeling that green-eyed monster because of Mizuki, and he doesn't really appreciate how he's all up on Usagi. And Usagi's not really, he got his book, so he's like, "Yeah, I'll let you cry. Like, Mizuki, you can cry here tonight." It's like, whatever. But, you gotta get your ass home the next day. And Misaki does the sweetest thing, because he's basically telling Usagi, like how, like you guys are like, close cousins and stuff, like, close cousins. And he's like, "No, we're just cousins. Like he's part of the branch He's part of the Branch family. He went to the United States and works for the company there." And so Misaki's still jealous, and he has this long eternal monologue, and he ends it off basically to end the episode. He grabs Usagi's shirt and tells him, "You only need to pay attention to me. Basically, you only need to smile and think about me." And Usagi is looking at him because, first off, Misaki, the rare instances that Misaki ever does this is rare. It's super, super rare. You know what I'm saying? And so Misaki realizes what the hell he just said, and he turns bright red, y'all. I'm talking about bright, bright red. And so he's about to take off, but Usagi grabs him around the shirt, and he tells him, like, "I've never seen you as jealous before." And it kind of turns him on. And he's like, just how, and he tells him, like, "In my head's filled with nothing but you. So I also want you to have your head filled with nothing but me." And so they kiss, like they have this really passionate kiss, and so it ends off the next day. So the next day, Mizuki comes back to Usagi's house, and he tells Usagi, like, "Yeah, my parents renovated my room, so I'm gonna be spending my vacation here at your house." And Usagi and Misaki are looking at him like, "Dude, get the fuck out. Get out of our house." And so Usagi's like, "Dude, there is nothing that you can give me that will basically say, hey, you can stay at my house." And so then Mizuki rolls out this big suitcase, and it's Russian doll like teddy bears. If you guys don't know what Russian dolls are, there's those little oval looking things that have like a painted ladies on painted on it, and it's like it pops off, and then there's another one, and you pop that out, and there's another one, you pop it off, and there's another one. They're like 5 little miniatures figurines. And so once he gets those Russian doll teddy bear looking things, you can't tell Usagi nothing, because he's just looking at it like, oh, I got more stuff for my collection. And Mizuki's like, oh, you gotta be fucking kidding me. We have no room for these. And so Mizuki shakes Misaki's hands like, thanks for letting me stay in here. And he grips it really, really tight, because Mizuki doesn't like Misaki at all. So what's the rundown on the first episode? I liked it. I love the new art style. Oh my goodness. I love it, love it, love it, love it. It has a flow to it. I love the brighter colors. At first I thought Usagi's voice actor changed. I may have to look that up. Sometimes they switch out voice actors, and a good voice actor can switch it out and you can't tell. But I'm gonna check their roster to make sure they're the same guy. But if you like yaoi and you want to delve into a season, I highly suggest doing Junjou Romantica. It's long. Their seasons usually run up to 25 episodes. And to catch up, you need to watch seasons 1 and 2, and now 3. So I will be doing weekly updates on each episode tomorrow. Well, I'm super nasally. Tomorrow I will talk about seasons 1 and 2. It'll be a short video, and then I'll delve in to how it's divided up into 3 different stories. But to me, I loved it. My only pet peeve about this, and it just may be me, I was hoping for a little bit more action, like, boys love action between Misaki and Usagi. That's my only pet peeve. Like, Season 1 brought it home. Season 2 cut back, and I hated that. And they're going to do the same thing with Season 3, so my suggestion, if you want to see what these two guys look like in bed, go buy the manga. You can actually watch Seasons 1 and 2 on YouTube. I think Nozoa Animation does it. I'll have the description below. But yeah, just type in Junjou Romantica Season 3, Seasons 1 and 2, and you can buy it from Right Stuff. Right Stuff actually has the rights. Right Stuff is a distribution company just like Funimation, and they have it on sale. I think they have it on sale, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, if you actually want to own boxes 1 and 2, go to them. They actually have some great stuff, some stuff I've never heard of, and so they're a really good company to go to. I used to get it the magazine in the mail, and the magazine in the mail had like a foil that you had to crack open. I didn't understand the foil part. When I first got that magazine, I was like 15, and I didn't understand why is there foil on this side of the page. When you rip it open, it's for like 18 and over. So yeah, if you want to hear any more from me about Junjou Romantica or other yaoi series, hit that like button. Stomp on that like button. Comment, rate, subscribe. And yes, I know my nose is shiny in this, but whatever. I'll fix it tomorrow. But yeah, thank you so much for tuning in. Comment, rate, subscribe, and hit that like button if you want more. Alright, catch you guys later. Bye.